Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today I am here with Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. Oh my gosh. And you know something, it just always makes me smile when Coach is in the house. I don't know, Karen, it's just something about you that just makes me smile. And
I enjoy you too, Terry.
it does. It brings me joy. So I know that you're going to enjoy this as much as I am. And so I hope you'll sit back, relax, and take in some information that's going to help you live life better and run a better business. So we're going to put Coach over here in the place of authority so that she can give us our tips and tools and we can take our notes. Okay. All righty, Daddy. Coach, what do you have for us today?
Well, we continue on the series where we're looking at staying focused to meet our goals. And today we're covering the physical goals. We talk about emotional last week, and this week we're talking about the physical goals. So that's what we're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
guys. And this is important. It really helps you. It just changes how you think. I'm going to tell you in a minute. So we're going to go over the three things we're going to talk about today, and then I'm going to get into a little bit of storytelling. So how would you stay positive and focus on your physical goals? Like, answer the question, how would I stay positive while focusing on my physical goal? Because it's going to help you to stay doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to think negative and keep at it, right? So that's why we're looking at the positive part of things. And what are they? Like, what are you going to do for your physical goals? What is it? Name it, and I'll tell you why in a minute. And how will they benefit you and your company? Because we're always talking personal to get you over to the business side. Because what you do in your life personally, you do in your business side good as well.
Mm.
When your business is falling down, don't look at the business. Stop and see what's going on with you. Stop and see how you can plug those holes with you. What do you need to do for you? And your business will lift right back up again. If you've never made bread, I want you to go make bread. I don't care how shitty it comes. Go make bread. And here's why. When you make bread, and not in a bread mixer with your hand, when you mix bread, if you need a bread recipe, I can get at you. When you mix bread, the first round, you put the bread down and you need it to rise. And then you need to
Mm.
go back in and reknead the bread. And when you reknead the bread, it rises. If you had a little dough like this, it gets to this amount. And when you go back and knead it, it comes back small again. Sometimes that's what a business needs. The business needs to go and get rekneaded. So the
Mm.
experience of the bread dough, I don't care if you throw it out, it's going to give you the idea of what needs to happen. That's why I'm demonstrating here with the business, and a
Mm.
physical thing. Because one of the hard part for people in service businesses, if you've had a business where it's a product, it's hard to switch over to service business. And I found it in my brain, it was hard because my business journey started with me making things. So
Mhm.
when I went over to just the service, I feel like I wasted a lot of time. It's not true, but part of me felt like I was wasting time. I wasn't doing enough. I could have, this thought was in my head. And when I was able to have the conversation with me, and by the way, you should be having a meeting with yourself so you can get these things cleared out of the way if you have no partner. And I was able to see what was holding me back, what was making me not grow the way I know I can. For the people who never had a business and wherever you're starting, that's the business and then this is not a problem for you. But just
Mhm.
if you had a product business and you're getting into service, it's kind of hard. I believe we should have both product and service combination because it just helps us to understand both things. I'll tell you why in a bit. But
Okay.
we're starting off with why you should stay positive while you're doing focus, building the
Okay.
physical. This guy I watch on Instagram, and he talks about just beating our body like this to wake us up in the mornings. And
Mm.
when I do things, so to me it's normal, but when you haven't done it yet, it feels like this forever stone that you're lifting that is so heavy. But the minute you do it, life changes. And when I was having a really, really hard time in my life, I remember thinking to myself, And as I said, I love working out, but I couldn't get there. I couldn't get there. Like it was this big stone to get there, right? And the minute I do it, I knew I could. And all I did was 5 minutes, no joke, 5 minutes
Mm,
per day in a workout. I went on YouTube and I put in 5 minutes workout. But this silly woman in, you see like some green spots, and she was doing this workout. And I remember
mm,
my husband, my kids keep saying to me, Mom, 5 minutes work is not going to do anything for you. You need, my son used to be a runner. My,
mm-hmm.
you know, used to be a personal trainer at some point.
Mm,
And she's like, Mom, you need more than that. But at the time, emotionally, and the way I was feeling, 5 minutes was all I could give myself. And I'm telling you this so you can understand that even though you might need 25 to 30 minutes, and all you can do is five, give the gift of 5 minutes to yourself. That's 25 minutes a week. And if you
mm-hmm.
do it for 6 days, it's 30 minutes for the week that you've given to yourself. And when I finished the 5 minutes, Terry, I would feel so good. I would go take a bath and I could start working because things were turning in my head. By the time I got in the shower, I was feeling better about myself. I was feeling I could do the things I set out to do, and I would start working and churning on it. My life was changing. I'd close my daycare. I started designing nightwear, but I wasn't sure
Mm,
beyond my moms for my daycare would buy these things because these people knew me, and I think they were buying from me because they knew me. And so
yes.
I went through this journey of not feeling great about myself and what I was producing, and wasn't sure. I was doubting all my skills, and a friend of mine said, Caren, she like hold me, she's like, what are we talking about here? Why would you be doubting yourself? But I was just in this place. And that 5 minutes a day for nearly 3 weeks straight helped start turning me. Start
Really?
turning start moving the needle, start turning my thinking. I said, I know what to do, but I'm thinking people just appeasing me. She said, Karen, call all the moms. Call the agency that used to send, call anybody you want and ask them. And I did pick up the phone and I started calling people, and they're like, so you selling pajamas and you haven't told us? Okay, we're coming. And I start selling.
Oh my goodness.
She picked me up. She says, I'm going to see my mom for a couple of days. You want to come? And I told her, I said, I got my kids. She goes, they're not going to die. We're going. And we went away for about 3 or 4 days. And in that time, she carried me and I got my pajamas, the same pajamas that I done myself with, into 2 stores. And I believe it's because I started moving. And that's what we're talking about here, movement. I started moving. And it really didn't matter what is it you're going to do. It's the consistency and the focus that we're talking about. So if you're going to do the 5 minutes, you don't need to go on YouTube and waste time. You need to go and prep the day, the week before, and say, this is what I'm going to do on YouTube. And you go find those 5-minute video, and that's all you do. Forget the rest of the stuff. You can look at YouTube any time of the day. But for the morning, if you're morning like afternoon, if that's who you are, I'm not going to argue with you on that. Get moving. Get moving.
Moving.
Get moving. You're going to change so many things when you get moving. Then get writing. And I don't care what you write about. The brain and the pen in the hand. Get moving. Get writing. You don't have to be a great writer. Go write something about something. Get moving. Call up a friend that you haven't spoken to in a while. And if you're really good with people, somebody's going to find you too because you're moving. Sometimes you don't even have to do anything. They come find you because you're moving. But you're going to have to keep doing it to get you to this other place. Find out. And that wrapping 1 and 2 together, right? What are they? Write it down. So if you did the 5-minute video and you recognize within a week, maybe you don't need 3 weeks, you can do 10 minutes. Then go find a 10-minute video. Mm-hmm. When you can do 15, go find a 15-minute video. And then YouTube would recommend other videos for you. And so now I had a playlist because I'm a scheduler and I'm a planner. You guys know this. So of course I went to Excel spreadsheet and I pop it in there. what I'm going to do on Monday, Tuesday, and all the days of the week, and what exercise. So again, I'm not wasting time in YouTube. I go into YouTube, I type in the URL, it pops
Mm-hmm.
up, I do my workout, I get my shower, and I'm off to the races. My work start. I work from home, guys. I have a work schedule. I start work at 9:30. I start work at 9:30. So everything that needs to be done has to happen before 9:25. So I can sit at my desk and be ready to work. You got to stay focused and you got to keep doing what you got to do. I often say, if you need a day off, take it off versus coming to sit at the desk, wallowing in whatever is happening, self-pity, and don't get any work done. You feel more terrible at the end of the day. If you find yourself going down the rabbit hole, take a day off. You're the boss. If you're not sure you can do it, write a note and ask yourself, Caren, can I have a day off today? Answer, yes.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. Yes, a mental health day is really important.
Yes. Have a day. And then what are you going to do for the day? If you're a person that enjoy home, I'm a homebody. So I'm probably going to sew, read, do some macrame, rest. But even though I am a homebody, sometimes I have to say, Karen, you need to go out. So I'll just hop out and just people watch. Sometimes I do take my book and read. I have lunch with myself. It's okay. You can do those things. Give yourself the gift of being alone with you and finding joy in that and looking after what you do. You've moved. You left one space and you went to the other. You worked out before you do. You give yourself permission to take the day off, and now you're off. At the end of the day, you can start planning what tomorrow's going to do. And here's the thing. If you had a bunch of things to do today, and you're saying to yourself, well, coach, I took the day off, but I still have everything to do that I didn't do on Monday. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to take the things that you had on Monday, and I want you to break it up into 4 pieces. So you can do a little bit on Tuesday, a little bit on Wednesday, a little bit on Thursday, a little bit on Friday. Don't try to do everything on Tuesday. You're going to be burned, and you're going to be mad that you took Monday off. Right? Sorry, guys. I usually have my lunch alarm, so no matter what, it goes off. And so you now has broken it up. So it's okay for you to take the day. Once you understand that you can do it, now you can decide, I can work 4 days a week. I don't need to work 5. You can give yourself the joy once you start working in things into your business that you can get the joy of a 3-day weekend off. But guys, you got to work there to get there. There's no magic in it. There's magic in getting it, but you got to work to get the magic. All magicians work. You wouldn't want to know how many times they put the coin in and it fell to the ground before they can show you it came out the ear. Okay? I had a little cousin who used to want to be a magician. And we were kids together. But boy, did he practice in our ear. With that stupid little coin. It was fun because when he finally got it, he was charging 25 cents. And the line was at the back door of his grandmother's house going all the way to the gate. Okay?
Oh,
25 cents, and he did a magic trick for you.
I love it.
As kids, we're so silly. Simple things just make us laugh and giggle. So, you get 25 cents from your mom, and Raul is doing the magic trick, and nobody knows whether he's going to get a feather or what's going to happen today. So we paid the 25 cents, and my great dad, his grandmother's like, why is there a line up in my back door? He's like, Grandma, I'm a magician. She's like, when?
That is so special. Oh my
God. She couldn't do anything but smile. She's like, okay, lock up when you're done.
That will make you smile, won't it? Oh my goodness.
So
that's
get physical, guys. Get moving. You'll be surprised what you can do with yourself. Okay, you'll surprise you every time. You get moving. It'll surprise you. How will this benefit your company? I just explained a little bit. Let's get further. How would it you in a better mood? Let me give you that. You're in a better mood when you physically moving. The same guy, the guy that was reporting back from the Instagram story, He said, I started doing the hitting my chest. He said, and I'm going to tell you, I literally am a negative person. And I was saying, this fool thing that I can hit my arms and chest and anything great is going to happen. Even the doctors say that this is the way I am. And he said, I am not going to lie to you. It took me like 60 days before I start noticing I'm using my arms better. Because this is somebody talking about themselves in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
He said, and then I started doing a little bit more and a little bit more. And he said, I noticed I'm getting stronger. Now, he was in a wheelchair because he was paralyzed. It was just a lot of weakness of the limbs. So he said, I just want everybody to know it's not I was paralyzed and this was a miracle. But he said, I've been following this guy for nearly 3 years. And he said, I'm in year 2. Guys, I can stand up longer.
Mm-hmm.
I feel better in myself. He says, I never took his program. I'm just telling you what it did for me because I did the little bit that he asked me to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it is. That's what I ask you to do when I come here on Wednesday. It's not to try, but to do. Mm-hmm. We like to say I'm trying, but try and give you an excuse to be out because today I don't want to try. But when you say you're going to do, I want you to go ahead and do it. Micro steps, micro steps, micro steps, but do it. 5 minutes is a micro step towards physically meeting your goal. Mm-hmm. Constantly. You get it there, you put the 4 weeks. And if you're going to do 5 days, do 5 days. If you say, Coach, I can only do 3 or 4, do the 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. But do it just as you say you would. Don't try. Go do it. And here's why. How it benefits your business, how it benefits your company. When you come to do things for your company, you're not trying anymore, you're doing. I need a full week to batch social media. I don't care who tell you that you can do it in an hour. I don't care. You need a week, then take a week. You need a day to script it out. You might need a day to actually go and fill in those scripts. You need a day maybe to make videos, graphic, another day to do graphics. You need a day to edit. And now you're ready for the month. And you understand what you're doing. The next month, it probably will take you a day. But that first round, you probably need a week or 30 days, whatever. You need the time. But now you know. So when you go to make your schedule, there's a thing about making a schedule. You got to go do the work to see how you work, to know what to put on the schedule, to work the schedule. Because I write schedules. And if I write you a schedule, but you haven't exercised yourself in doing the work, that's a waste. Because you're going to fight you on, Coach wrote that for me, I'm not doing that. No. You have to actually do the work. So when I coach somebody and they tell me what they want to do and we're talking about it, and like, I'm not sure how to write my schedule, and we talk about it. If part of my package was writing them their schedule, writing them their budget, writing them whatever the done for you part of the coaching might entail, we have to work through it for a while for me to go create it. Because if I create it and just hand it to them, it doesn't work. And I've tried that. Just give it to me, Coach, I'll do it. You wouldn't do it. You have to actually live into the thing. So if you're making pillowcases, silk pillowcases, and you don't know yet that it takes you an hour to make a pair of pillowcases, if that was the case, you have to go make the pillowcase. And so you come back and you say, Coach, it takes me an hour. I thought it was an hour, but it took me an hour and a half. And I would say, okay, we're going to want you to sew pillowcases for maybe 2 to 3 hours, even 4 for a day or 2. And I want you to notice if you're doing less within the day or 2 or a week. If at the end of the week, you're sewing the same amount of pillowcases that took you 4 hours, now that it's taking you 2 hours, we can start your schedule. If you notice that when you come to do email cleanup and whatever, if admin, so let's say admin is email cleanup, admin is getting all the note that I was taking, put together and making it in the document. Admin was part of my reaching out campaign. Admin was my newsletter. What are we doing for admin? I want you to go write a newsletter, the reach out campaign, set all of that up. And then you come back to me and you say, Coach, it takes me this time. You need to put on your timer and that time. Now we're going to make a schedule and we're going to talk. Tuesdays and Fridays are admin days. Here's what gets done on Tuesdays and Friday. You're coming to work to do that work on Tuesdays and Friday. But Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday is where you're revving it up. You're marketing, you're looking at sales, meaning you're DMing, you're cold emailing, you're calling people, you're running ads, whatever those things are. Sometimes people get all fussy and they're like, I'm like, you're running a business. This is part of running a business.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say, oh, don't do social media. Is doing social media. That's why you see them on social media. Stop it. You're doing social media as part of your marketing. You're doing YouTube as part of your marketing so they can find out what you're selling. You're building communities by having Facebook or any other group to build out your community. That's marketing. You're selling in people DM. You're selling when you run an ad. You're starting a lead gen to get them in. You're selling when you get to the supermarket and you smile at the the cash register girl. You ask her how her day was, and you ask her whatever question at the time you want to ask her. I was in a bank the other day, and I was talking to a teller, and we end up talking from one thing to the next. She said, "Oh, my son-in-law is a plumber," and one thing to the next. She said, "So yeah, so anytime you need a plumber, you can just talk to me." She just sold me the idea that if I'm looking for a plumber, there she is.
Exactly. Who knew? Yeah.
And yes, guy, I know you can do things online. I like to go into the bank. I like knowing the teller, the supervisor. My mom passed out before she went on dialysis in the bank, and they called me, and they knew me when I went into the bank to talk to them because I always go in the bank. The bank manager, the assistant manager, one of the tellers, she's like, how's your mom doing? Like, because we go to the bank. Human touch is still important and necessary. Don't forget that, guys. It's still important and necessary. People concerned about you. You could ask them about things that you couldn't. I had a friend in real estate, and she wanted to be able to educate people on real estate. And she said, I would go to the bank all the time. She said, Caren, I want to talk to we used to be in a network group. And I said, go talk to your manager. She goes, I don't talk to anybody in there. I said, you better get talking. You better get talking. Within 6 months, she was able to work out a deal with them where she come in and do talks on real estate.
Mm-hmm.
To the bank.
There you go.
Pick up 2 clients. Pick up 2 clients. She's like, Caren, those 2 clients yield me. I think she made 30 something or 40,000 grand from the 2 clients. Got the house fixed up solid. You never know where you're going to get the sale. So you understand, you have to understand where your business entails and what it needs and what you need to do. So for me to make you the schedule, you got to go do the do's, not try, do the do's.
Do the do's.
And then you bring back the information, the data to me. If you don't know how to organize it, because that's what that is. And some people get overwhelmed with that. And there's no judgment here. That's not their skill set. And they bring it and we look after it. Same thing with money. They spend, they do. Sometimes not bookkeeping, it's just organization of the funds. And I set their budget up. I tell them what they could and cannot do because of what the data tells me. And now they're free to go do whatever they want to do. But I have given them the guidelines.
Wow.
And they're moving. And they're moving. Business is not only the fun and games. It's all these other little parts that is important. Actually, really important.
And I think people overlook that. I think they take it for granted. But even though they're moving about the planet, are they connecting? Did you say hi to the teller? Does she know you? Do you know her name? Do you wait for your teller? You know what I mean? So you can keep that relationship, build that relationship.
Yep.
And so I think that this is a really important conversation because physical goals also are about building relationships while you're on the move.
Yes. Talk to your supermarket. There's a couple of supermarkets I go to, and in each of them, there's the people that I know. I didn't even realize that I know because I was in the Chinese supermarket the other day, and the girl's like, "Hi, how are you doing?" They see your face, you talk when you make them feel like they're a person because that's what they are. You don't just get your stuff cash. You say, "How was your day? Like, what's going on?" And at first, yes, they're probably just going to say nothing. But over time, when they see you over and over, they're like, I'm doing good. Today's a good day. Or today's awful. Whatever it is, you still have the conversation, oh. Or they'll see me and say, I saw your daughter the other day. Because the kids used to go in there since they were younger, This is good, guys. So when you talk to somebody, You're no longer the strangers that they don't know. You could
Mhm.
simply ask the question now. Do you know anybody who needs A, B, C, or D? We are starting this A, B, C, or D. We would love
Mhm.
your opinion on A, B, C, or D.
Wow.
Isn't it funny how A, B, C, or D? Actually, while you're in the supermarket, because my hair got a thin, a lot of people come to me and say, oh my God, I love your hair. And we would start talking about my hair or something.
Mhm.
I get moments, and it's not everybody, but you get moments that you might end up walking through the whole produce section talking to the person. And at some point, they might say, so, how are you doing today? Or what do you do? I've had people ask me, and
Mhm.
I would tell them. Or they say, you have a card? Card stays in my purse, guys. You get a business card if you ask me. People say it doesn't work anymore. I have given out business cards in the supermarket because people ask me.
Mhm.
When I used to be a braider, the same thing. People ask me. My kids had cards on them, and I had cards on me. And so, somebody would call me up and say, oh, I got a card from your daughter. Or, oh, your son here was, I love how you did your son here. He told me he was
Mhm.
mom. Can I pop by? Yeah. They don't have to sell every day, but they're moving, they're doing, don't be afraid to get the family involved. Not in the sense if you tell them they have to sell. Just give them the cards and say, if you meet anybody who is looking to do what you know your mom does, hand out my card, wouldn't you? But of
Mhm.
course, you and your kids have to have that relationship too, because you can't just stick a card in their bag if you don't talk to your kids or your mom.
Oh my gosh. Or they know what that's about.
Have the conversation with them. Let them know. I tell my kids since they're young what I'm doing, and some ask, and some I just sit them down and tell them. My youngest was, Mom, why are you telling me? I told him why. And at some point, he did recommend somebody. He says, if you didn't tell me, Mom, I didn't know what to say. When the person asked me, I was able to tell them. Tell your kids why. Tell your sister why. If you got a husband who's willing, tell them why. Okay? And give them the card. Give them so they can support you and they'll surprise you. Don't give them a lot of cards, 5, 7. Don't give them a whole bunch because then they can get it. If there are people who's not, interactive people, they might, I got to give out 7 cards. And you tell them when you give it to them, you say, hey, I'm giving you 7 cards, but you don't have to give it to anybody. It's just if you feel that they would be suitable for what I'm doing, then you can hand them the card and tell them itty bit about
Or
what
if
I
they admire what I've done for
do.
you,
Mhm.
your hair or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Then
Well,
you hand it out.
well, Coach, let's recap.
Yes. So today we cover finding the positive in moving physically and staying focused on it and finding out what it is for you. If you're a walker, I can forget to say, if you're a walker, a runner, a jogger, if those are what you could do, then you do that. If not, if you like YouTube's videos, you do that. If you want to pay for something, you also can pay for something privately. But if you have none of those things available and all you can do is take out your phone and do 5 minutes, get on YouTube and do a 5-minute, whatever it is you like to do. Important. How does this benefit your company? It benefits your company because once you're moving and doing, your company will be moving and grooving and doing. Because whatever we're doing personally affects what we do in business, building our company, getting great at what we do. It just fall into each other. And it would be silly for you to think you can put this aside and leave this aside. God knows I've tried over and over. No, it intertwined with each other like that. It goes in, it come out, it moves. Sometimes it's more family than business. Sometimes it's more business than family.
Wow. Guys, hey, let's get moving. Oh my
Yes,
goodness. If
yes,
you are
yes.
looking to connect with Coach Caren, look, get moving, guys. Here is her contact information to set up a meeting. Remember, you can find Coach Caren at Profits in Daily on Facebook and Instagram. So, hey, take some action. Get moving. Take care of your physical connections. Ah, my gosh, we talked about emotions last week. This week, yep, this week we're talking about the physical. So I
And
just,
next week, guys, we're going to be talking financial.
okay. So next week we're going to be talking about your money. You don't want to miss that. Coach Caren, all the way from Toronto, Canada. Thank you so much for what you
You're
do,
welcome.
Coach. Oh my gosh. It's just a blessing. Remember, guys, you can join Biz Chicks by texting biz to 33777, or you can go to bizchicks.net. We'd love to share with our community what it is you do and how you serve. With that, we want to remind you it's good to make money in your business. So go to the
Yes.
front of your own line, because
Hmm.
we're here to help you take the hassle
Out
out
of the
of
hassle.
your hustle. All right, guys, have a great day, and we'll see you very, very soon. Bye bye, everyone.